योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्या नमामितम्। Hare Krishna. My sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for coming back for these classes again after a long gap. But you were having every week class, so that is healthy. So I'm happy that I'm getting a chance to serve you again. I sincerely thank you because of you. I'm getting a chance to read Bhagavatam, and I feel excited every Tuesday morning that I'm going to speak Srimad Bhagavatam with all of you. So we will start now with the first canto. We are on the 8th chapter, Kunti's prayers. We will start today with the 25th verse again, which we did not elaborate last time, because this is a very, very intriguing verse. This shloka talks about how devotees are happy when they get suffering. Very, very intriguing, mysterious. So we will explore this shloka a little deeply. Because we all want our life miseries to end. Nobody wants to suffer. So how can some devotee pray for more suffering? This is a very intriguing verse. So we will spend some time on this. So you can please repeat after me. This is 1.8.25. Okay, all of you have access to Srimad Bhagavatam verse. Please repeat after me. Vipada santuta shashva tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyat apunar bhavadarshanam. Will read the translation.
Wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths.
So this is a very, very powerful shloka. Kunti Devi, before this verse, she has expressed gratitude. She has thanked Krishna for all the way Krishna has protected her. After thanking Krishna, she is telling Krishna that now, okay, all those miseries you protected me from, please give me those miseries again. Vipada santuta shashvat, again and again. Because when I get that, bhavato darshanam yasyad, I'm able to get your darshan. And when I get your darshan, then I don't have to see appunar bhavadarshanam. I don't have to see again repeated birth and death. So this is a very, very historical prayer. In fact, before this prayer, she was appreciating Krishna's protection. And there she was explaining how she is unfit to get Krishna's mercy. She also said, I'm a woman, I'm less intelligent. And in all humility, she said, oh, Devaki. She was comparing herself with Devaki. And she said, Devaki is better than me. She got you as a son. And she could tolerate the death of her 6 children because after all those children were killed, finally she got you as the child. So you did not protect her children, and she was able to take all that pain because ultimately she got you. Whereas in my case, I am not so advanced. I am so helpless. So you protected all my children because I am more fortunate. I needed that mercy. I needed that blessing. And Devaki had her husband to protect her. I had no one to protect me. I was helpless. And Krishna, you go to persons, those who are helpless. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of parents. If they have a 2-year-old child and they have a 15-year-old child. So 2-year-old child and 15-year-old child. So parents will give more attention and love to which child? 2-year-old. Why? Because the 2-year-old child needs more attention, needs more love. Like, once in the Guru Puja dancing Kirtan, one 2.5, 3-year-old boy came from his mother. He left his mother and came and danced with the brahmachari. Mother was happy, but mother was constantly seeing the child. He was on the men's side dancing. But in the kirtan, masti, and all that, I think the finger got hurt. And that boy ran towards his mother. And the mother also was looking at him only, and she embraced the child. She caressed. But if she had a 20-year-old son or a 15-year-old son, and if he's dancing with the brahmacharis and he hurts his finger, he will not go running to his mother. He will come to the ashram, put some first aid. So he will take care of himself. But when you are helpless and you have nobody and you are totally dependent, then you get attention from the parent. So the jnanis, the intellectuals in spiritual path, they are like the grown-up boys. They are, analyzing, calculating, thinking, planning. But devotees of Krishna, they are like children. In the sense, their mood is, Krishna, I'm dependent on you. Krishna, I need you. Krishna, you are everything for me. So therefore, whenever they have danger, like a small child spontaneously runs towards his mother, devotees run to Krishna. Krishna, please protect me. Uttara's example we saw in the previous chapter, same chapter. She ran to Krishna. Krishna, help me. Krishna, protect me. Also, when Indra showered the Brajavasis with thunderbolt, the Brajavasis ran to Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Bhaktanam, Abhayankara. Krishna, you please give us shelter. Srila Prabhupada says that any devotee who is pious, who is, dharmic, when there is danger, he will run to Krishna. Gajendra, Dhruva, everyone in Bhagavatam, they all remember Krishna. If we are not pious, then we will lose faith and we will run away from Krishna. And we become atheistic also. I don't know if you've seen many people, when they get troubles and suffering, they become atheistic. Like one person, I remember he told Radhesham Prabhu that my brother died. I was very attached to my brother. God took him away. So after that, I became atheist. So very immediately he said, "Oh, so you are saying that you became an atheist because God took away your brother. That means you accept God took him away. That means you're atheist. No, you're not atheist. That means you believe in God. Your problem is you're angry with God, right? You're angry with God." Then he said, yeah, actually I'm angry with God. I'm not atheist. So pious devotees will run towards Krishna and impious devotees will run away from Krishna. And even when Krishna gives them suffering and death and they go through pain, they still go to Krishna only. That is the difference between pious and non-pious. Like, I saw once one child in a temple, small child, the mother slapped the child. Something the child did, I think. Bang. And the child, what the child did, child did not run away from the mother. Child fell on the mother's lap only. And the mother caressed the child. So he wanted love. So mother slapped him. He wanted love and the mother only caressed him. So mother did both. She slapped the child also and she gave love also. So pure devotees of Krishna, they never leave Krishna, even if Krishna slaps them. Even if Krishna gives suffering, they don't lose because they know Krishna, we are dependent on Krishna. We are totally helpless. So therefore, that is the mood of Bhakta. Bhakta means in all situations, I go to Krishna. Whether I'm suffering, whether I'm happy. So when I'm happy, I thank Krishna. When I'm suffering, I cry, but I go to Krishna. That is the mood. And Kunti Devi, she is most special. Because she is not only running to Krishna, she is going to the next level. She is able to tell Krishna with clarity that Krishna, give me more misery. Please try to understand this. Kunti is revealing a very strange psychology of a pure devotee. Just like we say, no, Krishna is mystical, transcendental, and we don't understand Krishna. We say that many times. Similarly, pure devotee's behavior is also mysterious, mystical, transcendental. How can somebody pray like this? It's beyond our logic. Like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have the story of Gopal Chapal. He was very, very blasphemous. He wanted to defame Srivas Thakur. So he put wine, flesh, all obnoxious substances outside his house in the night. And he went around saying that Srivas Thakur is a Chandi tantric worshipper. And he's not a Vaishnava as he proclaims. So he is bad. So then he made big publicity. And when Shiva Thakur came outside and he saw all of that, all impure substances are lying. What did Shiva Thakur do? He did not deny it. In fact, he started going around telling everyone, see, I'm so bad. And of course, all the Vaishnavas, none of them believed him. They had faith in him. And Shiva did not clarify at all. He did not clarify at all because he had nothing to do with the worldly reputation. So it is bewildering actually. Sometimes behavior of a pure devotee is difficult to comprehend. So why Shiva Thakur did not clarify? Nothing to do with this world. How can Kunti Devi pray that give me more misery? So this is a very, very amazing prayer, that not only we know that devotees during difficulties go to Krishna, but Kunti Devi is revealing a new dynamic, that extremely advanced devotees not only go to Krishna, they ask for more trouble. See, for devotees, if dangers come in our life, suffering comes, we should know that Krishna is desiring that our devotional life is accelerated. Krishna wants our devotional life to go to the next level. That is why he gives us danger. That is why he gives us setbacks. Like, we discussed last few chapters before, Narada's example. What is Narada's example? What happened in his life? His mother died when he was a small 5-year-old boy. Isn't that painful? Now, if his mother had not died, if he had not been separated from his mother, what would have happened? His mother would have never left him. His mother would have never allowed him to go out alone. She would have said, I'm a widow and you are my only child and I'm attached to you, so we will be together. She would have never let him go. Because she died, little Narada could go travel all over Patishtham, Vishamuttaram. He went to the North Himalayas and he developed pure love of Krishna. All that happened because his mother died. So in one sense, it was a major tragedy. But in another sense, it brought Narada closer to Krishna. But you may say, but his mother died. What about the mother? No, the previous verses reveal that his mother served the pure devotees of Krishna. So naturally, she will get the benefit. Krishna will not neglect her. So therefore, when his mother died, Ekada nirgatam geha duhantim nishigam pati sarpo dashat padas prishta kripana kala chodita. So one day she went in the night to take milk and the serpent bit her and she died. And this little boy, when his mother's body was being burned in that hut, the hut also he burned. And he left, never looking back. So this is amazing how sometimes Krishna, he separates his devotees from the people they love, from their near and dear ones, so that they can come closer to Krishna. This is one of the things you will learn when you read Srimad Bhagavatam. Like Parikshit Maharaj, if you see, we will read now, later chapters. He got cursed to die within 7 days. And what was his reaction? When he got the news that he's being cursed, what was his first response? He was grateful. He said, Krishna is merciful. Krishna has come as curse. It is Krishna who has come as curse because I am attached to family life. I would not be able to take shelter of Krishna completely if I did not get this curse. And then he chants this famous verse, Punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangashcha tadashrayeshu mahatsuyamyam payami srishthim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. He says, my dear Krishna, if I have to take birth again, please, in case I have to be born again, Bhagavati Anante Rati, like give me unalloyed attraction, devotion to you. Prasangashta Tadashrayeshu, give me attachment to your devotees. Maitrastu Sarvatra Namo Dvijeva, and let me have friendly relationships with all living entities. Let me never hurt anyone like I hurt Shamik Rishi. If I have to take birth again, let me never have to go through all this. And finally, he's saying that I'm ready to die. Tamopayatam pradyantu vipra ganga cha devi dridachitamishe Vijopasrishta kuvakas va dashat valamdayata vishnu gatha. He says, let that takshaka bird come and bite me. I'm ready to die. But you, O Sukadeva Goswami, go on glorifying Krishna. I'm ready now. Actually, this is it. This is the pinnacle of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam wants us to reach, where I'm going to die and I'm ready for it. And the most amazing part is, what I find the most amazing in this entire pastime is Parikshit Maharaj was about to die when he was in the womb of his mother. You know this story? Angushta matra mamalam purata maulinam apive darshanam shamam. So Krishna came in the size of a thumb, and in the womb he's running around with this Sudarshan Chakra and protecting baby Parikshit. And Parikshit is saying, who is this friend of mine who is protecting me? And he fell in love with Krishna there. So now Parikshit Maharaj has been saved by Krishna in the womb. Okay. So right now he's facing this curse. He could have said, Krishna, you protected me in the womb. Please protect me now also. You could have said that, and it is logical also. You could have said, see, Krishna, I saw you in the womb. You came to protect me. You were moving around, round and round, and you were with your Gada and Chakra. You were so nice to me. And now, see, look at me, Krishna. I was a small baby. You protected me. I did not do any bhakti that time. Still, you protected me. And see, now I am in the prime of my youth. Krishna, I have been a very good king. I have done very good job. I subdued Kali. I punished Kali. And you can ask my praja, all my citizens, they are electing me only every year, every 5 years. That means I am good king. You can ask all the Brahmanas. I have a very good report card. I have pleased everyone except Shringi, who got angry with me and he cursed me. Everybody I have pleased Krishna. So Krishna, one small mistake I did. Please forgive me, and don't let me go through this. And I will do some yajna. I will do some pariyar. I will do some vastu homa, this homa, that shanti. I will do all that. But you please protect me. This is what Parikshit Maharaj could have asked. But did he say that? He didn't. Why? He saw this as an arrangement of Krishna to cut off his material attachment. This curse has come, let it come. I will use this as an opportunity to come closer to Krishna. I will get Krishna's lotus feet. I'll hold on. See, many of us fear suffering, but Parikshit Maharaj is embracing that suffering and accepting it as positive. So just like Parikshit Maharaj, we see his great-grandmother, Kunti Devi. She has now won the kingdom. Pandavas have got the kingdom after so much struggle. This is the time for her to be happy, jubilant. So what does this mean now? No more suffering, because we have got the kingdom. But she's thinking, no more suffering means no more Krishna. Because when we had suffering, we had Krishna. Because when we had Krishna, all that suffering, Durvasa Muni came with 10,000 disciples. And we were helpless. Krishna came, he helped. And then there was war, so much anxiety. Krishna was there. Now there is no problem. So that means Krishna will also not be there. So she's saying, better there is suffering, so that at least Krishna, you will be there. Please understand this. We may not be on that level. I'm not saying we should pray like that. In fact, many devotees don't even memorize this shloka. They're afraid to memorize because याद करते करते कहीं भगवान ने तथास्तु बोल दिया. तो आपको भी लाइफ में सिर्फ सफरिंग आएगा. We're not imitating. I'm just saying we are appreciating. We're appreciating Kunti's level of devotion. Okay, I'll ask you a question. She's saying, Krishna, create problems for us. Create suffering, give me suffering. Do that, you are there. So, I'll ask you a question. You have two options in life. Tell me which option you would prefer. First option, you have a lot of difficulties in life, but Krishna is there. Second option is, you have no difficulties and no Krishna in your life. Don't raise your hand, because I know what your heart is saying and your mind is saying and your intelligence is saying. You are thinking, Prabhuji will be happy if I go for the second option. No, first option. But my mind is saying, how can I go for the first option? First option is what? Lot of difficulties and Krishna is the second option. No difficulties? No Krishna. In one program, one boy was very intelligent. He raised his hand. He said, Prabhu, I would prefer third option, no problem, and Krishna also. This is what most of us would prefer. कोई difficulty नहीं होना चाहिए.
You mentioned only two.
That's why I mentioned it. But people try to get smart, you know. I want to have no problems, and I want Krishna also. See, you don't get Krishna so easily. That is one thing we need to know. We have to pay a price. Krishna will test us thoroughly, because otherwise, you know what will happen? We go to spiritual world, we'll create nuisance there. Unqualified, we will not be Krishna centered. So we have to be purified before we go there. So we have to come to a stage in our lives at some point of time where we prefer suffering, but with Krishna rather than no suffering and no Krishna. I'm not at that level right now, but one day we have to reach there. So we are right now scared because we don't know what is the happiness we can experience in Krishna. We have not experienced that. But we have experienced the suffering of suffering. We know what painful it is when we suffer. That's why we don't want that. And we have not experienced how much joyful it is to be with Krishna. Therefore, this option is very, very unattractive. But for Kunti, she's experienced the joy of remembering Krishna so much that she is thinking, suffering kya hai? See, it is like this, there was an orphan boy. This is a true story. It happened somewhere nearby. But this orphan boy was, children were playing cricket in the slum area. And he hurt his knee because of that season ball that they were playing. And very badly they hurt. And the children took him to the nearby hospital. But there was a nurse there, who was an elderly lady. And she treated him with a lot of love, motherly love. So then he became all right. Then he came back to his slum area, was playing. And then after he became all right, once again he was playing with the boy in the same way. So then when he was playing, he told those boys that I wish I get that wound again. I wish I get that hurt again. Not that because he wants that pain, because the affection, that motherly love which he got from that nurse was so nourishing and so satisfying. He said, uske liye wapas lag jayega chali. Because that love that he got from that nurse had deeply touched his heart. So we are all like that orphan child. See, when Krishna comes in our life, what I mean by when Krishna comes to our life is when we experience Krishna's love, when we experience Krishna's embrace, then that is like a golden period in our life. It's like, it will touch our heart in many ways. And that time, then life becomes very blissful. And then devotees want that. For that, they don't mind going through anything. Like Sudama and Krishna, they were playing in the Gurukul, they were eating together, they were sleeping, they were doing seva. So much bliss. And then they got separated. There was so much pain. So to be with Krishna, Sudama experienced with Krishna, and that nourished him. Pandavas also, it is explained in the first canto that there's a very beautiful verse which says, Satsangan mukta dussango hatum no chahate buddha kirtyamanam yasho yasya sakrit akaranya rochanam. It is explained how if we once get a taste for hearing, once we get an attraction, ek bar sakrit akaranya rochanam, ek bar we find Krishna attractive, then satsanga mukta dussango, we will find bad association bad, and we will be attracted to good association. And we will then be automatically attracted to hearing about Krishna. This is just once if we got attracted to Krishna, this is what. And then the next verse says, if this is the situation of somebody like us who gets once attracted to Krishna, you can imagine what must be happening to Kunti and the Pandavas. Tasminnestadya partha saheram viraham katam darshana sparsha samlapa shayanasana bhojani. So what about Pandavas? Nyastadya partha, their intelligence, their consciousness was fixed on Krishna. So much so that Saheram viraham katam. How can they tolerate separation from Krishna? Because darshana, they were seeing Krishna. Sparsha, they were touching Krishna. Samlapa, they were having conversation with Krishna. Shayanasana, they were sleeping next to Krishna. Bhojanai, they were taking prasad together. So they had such close, intimate relationship. So how will they be able to give up Krishna? So therefore, Kunti has got that higher taste, which we have no idea what it is to get that love of Krishna. So she's saying, let those calamities come again and again. In other words, what she's saying is, let those cannibals attack us in Manavritha. Let Draupadi be insulted in the assembly. I mean, she's basically asking for all of that. Let my daughter-in-law go through that. Let my sons go through so much suffering. We can't even imagine how, it's very surprising how somebody can ask for so much misery. This is called inconceivable. हम कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते. She is convinced that the miseries are uddipan. She is convinced that miseries are a stimulant for an impetus to surrender to Krishna. It is like she is deeply convinced that misery aayega, so my attraction to Krishna will become more. She prefers miseries because that will help her remember Krishna more. Like a drunkard, he knows when he drinks, he knows this is bad. He knows this kidney, liver, cancer bhi ho sakta hai. He knows all of that. But he wants that kick from that drink. He wants to go high. Kunti Devi also, she knows miseries are painful. She's gone through miseries. But the high that she gets in remembering Krishna, it is so intoxicating that she prefers miseries because those miseries are helping her remember Krishna. And to get Krishna, she doesn't mind getting miseries. When we remember Krishna, what does it mean when we remember Krishna? To begin with, we can remember Krishna's lotus feet. If you take darshan, you will see there is a pinkish hue on Krishna's lotus feet, and there is a tulsi mixed with chandan put on his lotus feet. So when you remember that, that's the way you begin our remembrance of Krishna. Then it eventually goes to adding emotions and affection. Would like to read, Anusha, the second paragraph. Prabhupada writes in the purport, one who has taken shelter of the lotus.
One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of missiles, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hooves of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with the place where there is danger in perishing.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is the way we begin that journey of Kunti. We begin by remembering Krishna's lotus feet. Samashritaye padapallavaplavam mahat padam punya yasho murari bhavambudirvatsa padam param padam padam yadvipadham natesham. The Bhagavatam explains that Krishna's lotus feet, mahat padam punya yasho murare. If we take shelter of, remember Krishna's lotus feet, then what happens is, this ocean, you see the Indian Ocean or the Bay of Bengal, it's huge. The ocean is huge. So this material world suffering is compared to an ocean. The ocean becomes the size of Vatsapadam, the size of water contained in the hoof prints of a calf. I mean, anyone can easily jump over that. So this huge ocean of suffering becomes a small puddle of water. That's the power of remembering Krishna's lotus feet. Just like the jnanis, they do meditation, they chant Om, there are different kinds of meditation people do. So in Bhakti Yoga, we meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. That's the process. And and this is what will happen. Because this material world has been stamped. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It's a place of suffering. You enter a salt mine, you will get salt. If you scratch the salt mine, you won't get a rasgulla. You will get salt only. So in the material world, you scratch, you try to get pleasure. Suffering is what you get, because this place is dukkhalaya. In fact, His Holiness Radhanaswami Maharaj says, There is enough happiness in this material world to make you attached to your suffering. You get just the right amount of pleasure and happiness so that you get attached to what you're going through, miseries, and you don't leave it. So the happiness that we experience in this world is an impetus, is a stimulant for us to remain attached to our suffering. So this is the essence of this shloka, 1.8.25, one of the most sensational verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we have just covered. But having discussed this verse, the most important question that arises now is how do we apply this shloka in our day-to-day life? After all, what is this series of classes called? Life lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are supposed to learn some life lessons. And today is the 61st session. We've had 60 classes before on life sessions. So how do we apply this shloka? Other shlokas are easy to understand and apply. So how do we apply this shloka? What is this shloka? Kunti is saying, give me more and more miseries. So how can we pray like this? Well, we can't pray for calamities and don't do that. But the lesson here for us is if miseries come on their own accord, then let us accept them graciously. That this is a result of my own past, and let me offer obeisances to Krishna with gratitude and tolerance. Tattenukampam susumikshamano gunjana evatmakritam vipakam hridvagvapurbir vidadham namaste jive tayo mukti pade sadayatha. Brahmaji is praying that when he's going through so much suffering, he says, let me fold my palms, let me say, Krishna, thank you. Krishna, I belong to you. I offer my respectful obeisances to you. So this is called acceptance. This is one of the most important qualities for devotees, accepting our situation as Krishna's mercy, and this is the best for me. The situation I am in now is what Krishna has arranged. His mood is very rare. Huh? Kunti's prayer is very rare. Kunti's mood is what? Well, when dangers come, we get darshan of Krishna. And when we get darshan of Krishna, then we don't get darshan of repeated birth and death. So therefore, it is better to get misery. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the duty, you can read that? The duty of the same person, therefore, I think it's a last, in between the third. The duty of the same person, whoever has access to it.
The duty of the same person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human beings.
So this is the lesson for us. Be undisturbed by worldly calamity. You will get all of it. Suffering is going to come. It's going to come. So we are not asking for more miseries. We are just saying when it comes, I always say this, no? मरने के लिए जहर थोड़ा सा, जिंदा रहने के लिए बहुत पीना पड़ता है. So can you embrace this pain? Can you accept it? अरे बाप रे, बहुत तकलीफ हो रहा है, ले लिया. Well, generally we try to see. We generally from childhood we have grown up thinking, I have to reduce misery and get more happiness. I have to solve all my problems and become happy. But when you come to the age of 50 at least, and I am 50 now, so I can confidently say, most problems in life cannot be solved. They have to be tolerated. Right? Maximum problems have to be tolerated. That we don't learn in the initial, when we are young, youthful, exuberant, we don't understand. So the lesson here is, well, there is going to be suffering, and whatever is due is going to come. Let me Vidadam Namaste. Brahmaji is saying, I offer my respectful obeisances. Krishna, I accept this. Actually, you know what is common to all of us? Suffering. Unfortunately, what happens? We all want to love, right? We want to love and receive love from others. I'm just giving a typical social situation in your South Bombay society, wherever you are living. When you meet people, hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm doing great. This is how we greet each other. Smile. Happy. Now, this is very superficial, actually. If you really want deep and meaningful relationship with anyone, you should be able to share your suffering. Hare Krishna, how are you? I'm miserable like this. How are you miserable? I'm miserable like this. Oh, great. So we are together. All the best. This is actually, you'll have a deeper, more meaningful relationship like this. See what happens. The problem in the situation now is, see, everybody you see, they put their best foot forward. So you know them by how they present themselves. I'm fine. I'm doing good. And how do you know yourself? See, each one of us, be honest. You feel inadequate in some way. You feel miserable in some way. You feel weird in some way, right? And you're not happy about yourself in some way, frustrated with yourself in some way. But when you see others, you see, Hare, ye to khush hai. And he's always putting up the good side. So then what happens is we are more miserable, right? So therefore, all this gung-ho motivational self-talk doesn't help, because what they're telling you is life is perfect and you can become more beautiful if you follow these 3 techniques. This acronym, be happy, 4 techniques, 4 things, 3 things, 4, all those kind of, you see those, even I'm guilty of giving those kind of lectures. So I can't criticize them. But the nature of material world is misery is compulsory for all of us. Suffering could be optional, but we are all going to get it in equal proportion. We are going to get it. So what we have to do is, each one of us here, we have to focus what this prayer is telling us, practical applications. This misery is going to come. Let us focus on our duties of chanting, temple visits, associating with devotees, being empathetic, kind, and compassionate to others, knowing that this person is also suffering like I am suffering. So then what happens is, then with all the suffering, calamity is guaranteed. But chanting is going on, going on. Chanting is going on. And nowhere it is mentioned that if you chant, calamity will not come. I know this is very, very difficult to internalize. Therefore, we need this. We need association. Srila Prabhupada says in this purport only, calamities are like dreams. So he says in a dream, one section of the purport, he says, in the dream, a tiger is chasing. In the dream, if let's say your son is crying, he's screaming in dream, in sleep, tiger, tiger, and he's sweating also. He's fast asleep and he's shouting in his dream, tiger, tiger. And then your husband, wife, other family members, they get a stick. And they're saying, tiger ka hai? Tiger ko maro, tiger kidhar hai? And you are running around in the house, tiger kidhar hai? Tiger ko pakdo, maro. Is that what you will do? Will you be able to solve the problem with that? You have to wake stick, usko marna chahiye, paat kar do, jaga do. Khatam, the misery is over. So Srila Prabhupada says that we are all in a dream-like situation. Our calamities, our suffering is like that. So therefore, the last line of this purport is the most important line you will ever read in Srimad Bhagavatam, where you can read that second last sentence of this purport. If someone is lucky.
If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all great.
Yes. Can you repeat this sentence after me? If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. This is an extremely powerful statement. That somehow we have to get connection with Krishna, then it is all gain. All gain means all calamities. If kuch bhi aaye, it is all gain if you somehow get connected to Krishna. And we can get connected to Krishna through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. See, instead of seeing what is going around me, instead of so much suffering, I am also suffering, being in this world of negative self-talk, I have to keep marching on. Now I see the children play video games. You've seen this video game they play, and they're getting killed, they're getting destroyed, and but they keep marching on. That player keeps marching on to win the game. You see, they're so focused. They're not sitting and crying, "Arey, mar gaya, mera ye loss ho gaya." Keep playing. All the obstacles, they duck the obstacles, they avoid the obstacles, they beat the obstacles, they keep going forward, 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 to destination, to treasure tak jate hain. They don't get bogged down by the loss. They keep playing the game. So the game called life, you have to keep chanting, keep doing devotional service. And we have this association, the other stories, the other devotees, their example, the dedication keeps us going. And when calamity comes, many people, they think, oh, I'm lost, I'm suffering. No, but you have come in contact with the Lord. You're coming to the Bhagavatam class. You're coming to temples. It is a game. Real calamity is if you lost your bead bag. That is real calamity. If you have a bead bag, you have it. That is a great blessing. I say, I'm sorry, I'm not on that level. I'm just repeating because this is the shloka today. So unfortunately, I have to speak on this very high shloka. Devotees are our hope. And the bigger calamity is not losing the bead bag. Bigger calamity is losing the desire to lift the bead bag and chant. That is a very, very big calamity. So when I remember His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj was saying that once many years ago, there were some GBC meetings in Mayapur, management meetings, annual meetings, ISKCON management meeting. And there was some big decision about to be taken against him. And he was very sad and he was very nervous about the discussions going on. And he was constantly thinking, what will happen? I will lose this position. I've got this service. And then at some point of time, suddenly he realized, well, they're going to take away my position. They're going to stop my service. But nobody is going to take away my bead bag. Nobody is going to take away the realizations that I've earned in my heart over the last so many years. Then he felt peaceful. Therefore, we have to read this purport and this shloka again and again. And we have to hear from devotees because this combination of hearing from devotees, this really helps. It's a very, very powerful sentence of Srila Prabhupada. So once again, please repeat. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. If we don't hear from devotees, if we don't associate, we'll forget. In fact, by the time we go to fifth canto, second canto, we'll forget this. Even I will forget. So I also need to hear from devotees. You need to hear also. And this is common. What is common? Suffering. And when we meet each other, if we can see, okay, all of us are going through some suffering, right? And we all have something about us which is really messed up. But you don't want to share it with anyone else. We don't want to be vulnerable. So we'll never have close friendships. Close friendships can only happen when you give some piece of yourself to the other person by which he can potentially exploit you.
Thank you. Potential.
He will not. He should not. But you can't have a close friendship if you only speak all good things. I'm fine, I'm great, how are you? Great. So you'll never have a close friendship with anyone. You'll never have a close relationship with any human being if you're only presenting good things about each of yours, presenting only good things about yours. You have to speak, you have to become vulnerable. You have to become honest. You have to become weak. And which is dangerous potentially, you could be exploited. But without that, the risk you take, you can't. Correct me if I'm. Rare होगा, but होना चाहिए ना, एक के साथ तो होना चाहिए. Like I do one interactive exercise wherever I travel. I don't know if we can do it here. Maybe we can try. 2-minute exercise. करेंगे? Okay, all of you have some thing that you're ashamed of in life. At least one thing that you regret. At least one thing that you're sad of in life. We all are sad, regrets, ashamed. Now you don't have to share everything with everyone. I'm just giving an example of how we can change our relationship from being superficial to going deeper. So maybe you can have one partner here in this room, maybe the one next to you. And in 2 minutes exactly, you can share with each other something that you are sad about, something that you're ashamed about, or something that you regret.
Any three or
Any three, all three, 1, 3, 2 minutes, 2 minutes में जितना होता है.
2 minutes for both of us.
Both of us. No. 2 minutes में together. You decide who will speak first, who will say what, who will hear. One person doesn't want to speak at all. You want to, I will take a quick power nap. You can do that also.
something you're sad of, something you regret about.
इसमें 2 मिनट जाएगा सब लिखते लिखते. What you are sad about, what regrets you have, what you are ashamed about. Yeah, that also. Anything that you are sad na, about it. The whole idea is break the jinx of always living the superficial life. Hare Krishna. Thank you. You can continue the discussion after the class.
Yes.
I know. I just wanted to give you a trigger a thought of willingness. Are you willing to be vulnerable with anyone?
You need courage.
You need courage. I'll tell you, this will really help. You want to say something?
I would ask if we don't know somebody does not enough to us, it's easier to talk about what we say. But how do we do that with somebody who knows us for long? So what those
Someone may not be ready to also listen.
Then don't go. बहुत लोग ready तो नहीं होंगे.
That's where courage.
I'll tell you how it helps. I'll tell you my own story. Then see if this inspires you to be more authentic in your social dealings and more. I'm not saying you go and tell everything, all the gory details of your suffering. I'm just saying be more authentic. Don't have to share details with everyone, but don't live a pretentious life. I'll give my own story. So when this is 2006, one boy was coming for my classes. He was 16 years old. And he had that spark in his eyes, very innocent young boy. I gave him a lot of affection, time, prasad, and he was coming every day to the base, to the youth programs I was doing. And then he went on to chant 16 rounds every day. Very nice boy. And then he said, I'm going to my hometown, which is near Bengaluru. And he said, I'll come back after 1 month. So after 1 month, he didn't come to the base. And during those days, we didn't have mobile phones. It's early 2000. So then I'm like trying to look for him. Why is he not coming? Trying to call his house. Finally, one day, I sent one boy to his house and he came. And I was shocked to see this boy. That innocence, spark in his eyes, that sweetness, everything had disappeared and his face had become crooked. It had become very demoniac looking. And this 16-year-old boy is telling me, this ISKCON is all, and he started using all bad words. And then he said, Prabhuji, this sannyasi, this candor, all horrible things. I said, this is wrong. He said, no, this is like this. Then I started giving him refutation. And then I realized, then he told me, when he was in Bengaluru, he had gone to some temple somewhere where he met a group of devotees. They started criticizing the ISKCON world in such a bad way. And this 16-year-old boy was totally brainwashed. And after he came back, he was convinced that this is all dangerous cult. And then slowly, systematically, I was answering. So morning around 9:30 came. Believe me when I say this. Till almost 5:30. More than, I think 5:45, 5:50, I was convincing him. And he was challenging questions. And around 6 o'clock, both of us are exhausted. And one sentence Krishna inspired me to tell him. And that changed completely. I said, okay, let us stop this discussion, Prabhu. I just want to ask you one thing. Before you went to this hometown of yours, how much feelings of affection and love you had for Krishna and devotees? Now that you have been enlightened, how much attraction do you feel for Krishna? How much your heart is softened with affection for Krishna? Very provocative question I asked. And he just kept staring at me, and his eyes was, his eyes was probing. And I knew that he's looking, but he's actually searching inward for the answer. I kept quiet, he kept quiet. Then he slowly got up, left. I don't know what will happen now. After 2 days, he came back, and we had a small altar in the base. In front of the altar, he broke down. He fell at my feet. He cried. He said, I did a disastrous thing. I forgot Krishna completely. I was just relishing all this criticism and all of this. And then he said, you saved me, Prabhu, and all that he said. And then we became best of friends. Then I gave him prasad and all that. And then slowly years passed. And he went on to become a graduate. Then he followed his father's. I won't tell the details, but the details you'll know who he is. But he went on to become very successful in his. He started following his father's career, and he became very successful in whatever area he was. I like to tell you, okay, he went on to become a great astrologer, and his father was already an astrologer for some of the top. His father is a big guru. He has 5,000, 6,000 disciples, and including Osama bin Laden's sister and Nawaz Sharif, like those kind of people also consulting for Vastu and astrology. You may be surprised, even Pakistanis are interested. Anyway, that's another story. So he followed his father's footsteps, and all this while we are close friends. He's considering me as, his friend, mentor. Life went on smoothly. But fortunately, by Krishna's mercy, I had the intelligence to know that I'm at that point of till this point of time that I'm ordinary person. And then a situation came in my life few years ago, 3 years ago, where I was in such a big, terrible mess. It was, I can't describe it and share it with some of my trusted people know what it was. It was a major crisis. And I didn't know, I had no way out of this problem. And then I called him because he's an astrologer, plus he has got some special powers which he has inherited from his father. He's sharp. He does all the Shaligram worship, puja, elaborate prayers. So and he's very sharp. You can see the face, you can face read also. So I called him, I said, I need your help. And he had just got married. He was in Mahabaleshwar, having a good time with his wife. And he was on his way back to Mumbai. I said, I need you. I'm in a big mess. I need your guidance. He dropped everything and he came. And he sat with me, came to my room. He sat with me for 3 hours and we were discussing. And then I told him what was the situation. And then he discussed, he analyzed, and then everything. And then he said, and he gave me a solution. He said, Acha karo, usko phone mat karo, isko phone karo, isko involve karo. And then I said, no, but we discussed. And then what he helped me, it saved me. जैसे मूवी में दिखाते हैं ना लास्ट मिनट का जो क्लाइमैक्स होता है वैसा बच गया. And now when I look back, I was like, wow, he saved my life. So then even now I embarrass him all the time. You saved my life. I keep telling him. And then we laugh at it. Sometimes we take prasad together, sometimes in Govinda, or we sit, we relax. We say, kya cycle ho gaya life ka? So at some point of time, because it doesn't matter your senior, junior, stranger relationship, it helps. If you know somebody is trustworthy, see, you can't be vulnerable with everyone, but if you're vulnerable to the right person, then it really helps you. Because he was vulnerable and he trusted me, I could also trust him, and it blossomed. 2006, that's how many years ago? 17 years ago, you would have never believed that there would be a situation in life where he would be helping me like this. You would have never believed ऐसा situation आ सकता है. You would have said, "नहीं प्रभु जी, आप मेरे गुरु हैं, आप ही मेरे सब." That is what he has been thinking all these years. But I had to become humble, and he helped me. And now I look back, I feel, देखो, it helps. झुकने में, humble रहने में बहुत फायदा है. कद बड़ा नहीं करते एड़ियां उठाने से, ऊंचाइयां तो मिलती है सर झुकाने से. तो सर झुकाने से बहुत फायदा है. So I'm not saying we go around telling everyone, I'm just saying it helps to be humble. And therefore, Prabhupada says, if one is lucky enough, he's saying, using the word lucky. Lucky means we don't get association of the Lord. We didn't deserve it or we didn't try for it. We got lucky. We got association. And when you win lottery, you feel happy. The greatest lottery we've got association of devotees. Because miseries are unavoidable. And when you have other devotees in the class, in the program, you see, oh, yeah, sab suffer kar rahe hain, sab saath mein hain. They're all together. It's very, very hope-giving. It's extremely shelter-giving. And there are many examples in the Bhagavatam, but my main point is, please don't believe all these, pep talks and motivational videos. Stay away from them, which give you a very romantic idea about life in this world. They're cheating you. Actually, we will all be happier. See, if we all accept we're all suffering, we will be happier because we'll be kind to each other. But if you think this world is a great place and they're always going to be happy, they're all perfect, then we'll always be struggling because I know I'm suffering. He is happy. I want to be like him. So now this Prabhuji, whom I am very close to, he knows I also have my challenges. I know his challenges. So basically, don't create a bubble of all's well. That's the point I'm saying. That's why our Acharyas have explained, Kabe Sri Chaitanya More Koribe na Doya, Kabe Ami Pai Bo Vaishnava Pad Chaya. I know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful to me when I get association of devotees. And I know I am very lucky. Kabe Ami Chadi Goye Vishaya Abhiman. Kabe Vishnu Jane Ami Koribe Samman. I know I am lucky when I am able to give up my false pride and humbly take shelter of other devotees. Because what will happen when I'm suffering, if I have the courage and I go to him or her, Kandiya Jana Iba Dukha Gram. Kandiya means crying. If I go to him and tell him or her that I'm crying and saying, I'm really suffering, Prabhu, please pray for me. Kandiya Jana Iba Dukha Gram. Samsara Anala Vaite Magibe Vishram. I want relief from this burning fire of material existence, Prabhu. I'm really suffering. You reveal your heart. And then what that devotee will do, devotees are very kind. You know what devotees do? You will do now exercise. I want all of you to do this. You know what devotees will do? After they have heard your suffering, what do you think they will do? Right. Shunya Amara Dukha Vaishnava Thakur Amalagi Krishna Abe Dibena Prachur. He will hear my suffering and he will go to Krishna. And he will tell Krishna, please help him. And what will Krishna do? Vaishnavera Nivedana Krishna Daya Moy. He Napa Amara Prati Habena Sadaya. Krishna will become very Dayamay, very merciful, because I have gone to a devotee. So therefore, this is very, very important that we have devotee association. Therefore, when devotees tell you, pray for me, don't take it cheaply. You are healthy because many people have prayed for you. Because many people have blessed, many people have thought about you. You also need to do that for others. There's one exercise I want all of you to do. All of you have been told to get a paper and pen. I don't know how many of you have brought. If you don't have, at least you should take out your phone and do this. It's a 2-minute exercise. And this exercise is going to change your life. This is a journaling exercise. Every day I do this. It takes me just 2 minutes. If you do this for 2 minutes every day, you will feel so happy with all the miseries. So there are many types of journaling. What I'm going to do now for 2 minutes teach you is this is a journaling called blessing journal. You're going to give blessing to somebody else. Can you give blessing? No. Basically, what you're going to do now is you're going to offer a prayer for some other devotees. So all of you know at least 50 people in this world? Minimum 50 people? All of you know, right? So what you will do when I say start, not right now, don't write anything now. When I say start, you will write a name, any name. And then next to that name, you will write, Dear Krishna, please fill in the blank. You fill it up. It could be like, today morning, I should have brought my journal. And today morning, I wrote in the journal, Dear Krishna, I wrote a comma. So first I wrote a name. I wrote 5 names. It takes me 2 minutes. I wrote first name, Rasik Raman. He's one of the brahmacharis in that time. Rasik Raman, dash. Dear Krishna, please help him overcome his pain in the knee and toe and let him be healthy, fit and let him preach more and more. Okay, 1 line. 15 seconds laga. Second name. Some other names. Like this, I wrote 5 names today. And each name, I wrote 1 sentence. Sometimes 2 sentences. You got more excited. I really got excited. I could write 3 sentences. But Just 5 names if you write. Now, here today you will write more names till I say stop. You will keep writing. Random, any name that comes to your heart, write a name and a blessing or a prayer for that. Can you do that? Simple, no? I'll tell you how it will help you later, but you just try this now. Don't think too much, just write, okay?
So first is the name.
Name, one name, and then write 2 sentences, 1 sentence about it, and then second name, write a sentence. Name prayer. Is that okay? Everybody understood? जिसको समझ में नहीं आया हाथ उठाइए. Can you write? Your time starts now. Hari Bol. Hey Krishna, thank you. You could write at least 5 names. 3 लिखा, एक तो लिखा ना कम से कम. हाँ. 3, 1. Even 1 is great. Can please stop now. You can write later. So what you have done just now is you have gone beyond yourself. Generally, even when we thank others, it is all about I. Thank you, Prabhu. You have done this for me. You gave me this. Whenever we appreciate others, also it is about ourselves. When we express gratitude, it is about ourselves. But here, what you have done, hopefully, you have prayed for someone independent of you. But very soon you will see, as you do this exercise regularly, you will see even when you are writing a prayer, it will be something about you only. You know, if you write one name, let's say you write a name, Manish. Krishna, let him understand my heart better. Krishna, let him be more kind to me. Krishna, please remove the misunderstanding he has in his heart about me. It's all about ourselves. But this is a prayer journal or a blessing journal where we are genuinely moving out of my head. And that is the secret of overcoming suffering. We are suffering more because we're only living a life centered on self. So contribution, connection and contribute. There are 2 principles of spiritual life. Connect to Krishna and contribute to others' happiness. So what you have done now is an exercise to contribute to somebody else's happiness. Because by this exercise, at least when you see that person in front of you, you will be immediately radiating positive energy and that person will be able to perceive it. Like when I write good things about other devotees, other people, and when those people come in front of me, even without me saying anything, they know that, oh, Vraja Bihari is my well-wisher. I don't have to tell them, Prabhu, I am your well-wisher. I don't have to advertise. Because in my heart, I have genuinely prayed for someone. That person will be able to perceive. I was with the children, the youth of Pandav Sena, which is a youth group in London, in England. So we went to Paris for a retreat, 10 days retreat. 100 boys and girls, all same age, 16 to 23, young, dynamic. And I was meeting so many of them. Every day in the journal, I was writing at least 10, 15 children names and their prayer for each one of them. And I could see, the bonding was natural, spontaneous, and full of affection. I didn't have to tell them that I love them. I could see they were just walking around me, talking, and we were able to give love. So it helps. And you don't even have to know the person. Like there was one girl, Victoria, just 17-year-old British girl, she was walking in the streets. So one of the Pandav Sena, I think boys or girls, they gave her some book she read. She said, oh, you guys, what are you? And then she went on Google, she found out that this is Pandav Sena, they are going on a retreat tomorrow to France. Can I join you guys? So it's unlike India, the culture is very different there. So next day she was there at King's Cross station and we were in the same train, 100 of us, and going to Paris. And one devotee told me, Prabhu, she is absolutely new. She has no idea about Krishna consciousness. She's absolutely new and she's coming for this 10-day retreat. I said, really? I'm not going to compromise because I was given a task to speak Ramayana. And all the other boys, most of them were already knew Ramayana a little bit. So then she had to sit in the class every day for Ramayana. Every day Mangalarati, Tulsi Arati. She was attending. And there in England, everybody does everything. You wash pots, we only cook, we only wash pots, we only do everything, we only give lectures here. Everything, everybody does together. It's community service. So then she was there in the pot washing, cleaning, service, Tulsi Arati, attending class, Kirtan, sincerely attending. And one day in the journal, I wrote, I must have written almost 7 or 8 sentences about her. I didn't even tell her. I just wrote, Krishna, she's so, let her heart be captured by your love. Let her just get attracted to you. she has no idea about Krishna. I just wrote, just genuinely hoping that she becomes a devotee. That's it. And then I went on with other names. Ho gaya. And you won't believe it. Next day, she never spoke to me because there's so many children, so many youth running around doing things. And because during Prasadam serving and all, we see each other. And she never spoke to me. I never spoke to her. But next day, she came to me. Prabhu, it's amazing. Ramayana is so good. I'm going to go back and read Ramayana. But really? And she's so expressing so much gratitude and she's so much affection. I'm wondering why she's having that. Because genuinely she must have felt love coming from somewhere. And the last day, she was in sari. Last 2 days, she was wearing sari. I said, you're wearing sari? She said, yeah, this is such a cool dress. I'm going to wear this. I was like, wow. Devotee ban gayi. Tulsi aarti kar rahi hai. And one day they made her do some aarti also. I think some small aarti. So I was like, wow. Then when leaving, I asked her, so you think you'll be able to continue this? And she said, yeah, if I hang around with these guys, if I have good association, I can do it. So she knows the fundas now. So what I'm saying is, we do so much on external things, which is needed, like service, talking, caring. But where is your heart? Is it only about yourself? Then your suffering will never end. Can we rise above ourselves? Can we spend some time every day praying for others? Then our suffering will become less. That is the practical application of 25th verse. So the main theme of this verse which we discussed today was material danger is positive. And now next verse Kunti is going to say material security is negative. That is the next shloka for next week. Did you understand? So what she has discussed today, if there is danger in your suffering in your material life, that is positive. And next verse she will explain, if there is material security, that is negative. So for that, please come next week. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.